The text said, I'm an AFib. When I got the text, I was just like, well, I need to come there? And he said, no, they're gonna just restart my heart. They're gonna stop my heart and restart my heart, and then I'll be fine. And then he comes home later that night, and we think that's the end of it. And it was the beginning of it.
A couple days later, I was feeling the same thing, and I was short of breath.
More short of breath than you had been.
Yeah,
I think.
It was a little worse. I drove myself to the hospital. They did some scanning and stuff.
And they had suspected blood clots.
Yeah.
And then they confirmed.
They confirmed it.
That it was blood clots.
The nurse said, you're not going home. And they started searching for places to send me. From COVID and other stuff, there was no beds. And so they weren't able to keep me, and they were able to send me to Corvallis.
Corvallis, Good Samaritan had room, so the ambulance took him there for a 24/7 heparin drip to try to knock those blood clots out. But it just did not do the trick. And on December 16th, he woke up. He does not recall waking up, but he woke up with shortness of breath, and they immediately admitted him to the ICU, and he immediately coded in the ICU. Like most people, I'm usually pretty even emotionally, but I was not at that point. And so when my friend Heather called me, she's like, what is going on? And I'm trying to tell her through sobs what's going on, not knowing while I'm driving to Good Samaritan if he's been revived, because I don't know. Because I was just a mess when I got there. And then finally someone says to me, oh, and he's stable. And he spent the week recovering from that, only to, continue battling the blood clots, and the heparin just didn't seem to be doing the trick. So they readmitted him to the ICU, suspecting that he would have another pulmonary embolism. And they didn't want that to happen, so they administered the TPA medicine again, and that caused a bleed in his brain on December 26th.
I was in the right place.
Yep, you were in the right place. Well, had he been home, and had a stroke, instead he's in ICU having a stroke, so split second. Whatever medications they administer to combat that, it was instantaneous.
The outpouring from the community was huge. It was incredible, the amount of, just cards, notes, donations that came in. It was pretty awesome. It was really cool to see, because you're on the radio. When we talk on the radio, it's us. It's just us putting it out there. You don't get anything back. All of a sudden, they're just pouring it into me. And
sometimes I'll look at the chair he's sitting in, and I'll think, he's actually sitting in that chair. There was a chance that that chair would be empty. It was touch and go for the whole time he was in the hospital. So that's, for me, what life is like now. It's just that thought from time to time. I don't think he knew that.